Today's question is, do you trust God to take care of you during the tough times? We're in Genesis 47, and it's all about God's faithfulness in the middle of hard times. Joseph setting up his family to thrive even when the world's in a famine. In verses 1 through 6, we see him meeting Pharaoh. So Joseph takes 5 of his brothers and goes to Pharaoh. He tells Pharaoh, "My father and my brothers have arrived from the land of Canaan. They have come with all their flocks and herds and possessions." Pharaoh listens, and when he meets the brothers, he asks, "What's your occupation?" And they say, "We, your servants, are shepherds just like our ancestors." Pharaoh says that they can settle in the best part of the land of Goshen. He even tells Joseph to put the best among them in charge of Pharaoh's own livestock. So favor follows faithfulness. In verses 7 through 10, we see Jacob blessing Pharaoh. So Joseph brings in his daddy, Jacob. Jacob blesses Pharaoh, and that's important. It says, "Then Jacob blessed Pharaoh again before leaving his court." So even though Pharaoh is the king, Jacob's the one carrying God's blessing. Don't forget who you are just because you stand in front of some big people. If you belong to God, you've got a bigger blessing than any earthly title. Verses 11 and 12, we see them settling down. So Joseph settles his family in the region of Goshen just like he planned. It says Joseph provided food for his father and his brothers in amounts appropriate to the number of their descendants, including the smallest children. So Joseph's taking care of everybody, young and old. Provisions always follow God's promises. Verses 13 through 26, we see Joseph managing the famine. Now, outside of Goshen, Egypt is suffering. The famine is heavy, food's running out. Joseph wisely sets up a system. First, people trade their money for food. And then when the money runs out, they trade their livestock. And when livestock runs out, they trade their land and offer themselves to Pharaoh's service. Joseph organizes it all fairly. He even sets up a law. He says 1/5 of your crops will belong to Pharaoh. He keeps the country alive without crushing the people. And that's godly leadership. It's firm, but it's fair. The people even thanking. They say, "You saved our lives." In verses 27 through 31, we see Jacob's last request. So back in Goshen, Jacob's family's growing. They're flourishing right in the middle of the famine. And Jacob lives there 17 more years. But as he feels the end coming, he makes Joseph promise, "Please don't bury me in Egypt. When I die, take my body out of Egypt and bury me with my ancestors." Jacob's eyes are on the promised land, even in death. He knows Egypt ain't their forever home. God's got something better coming. So what's Genesis 47 teaching us? First, faithfulness brings favor, even in foreign lands. Second, leadership is about serving people wisely, not taking advantage of them. Third, even when the world's in famine, God's people can still flourish. And then fourth, keep your eyes on the promises of God, not just the comforts of the world. Listen, the world might be dry and hungry, times might be tight, but if you walk with God like Joseph did, you will have everything you need and plenty to share with others. You don't belong to this world system. You belong to the kingdom that never runs out. So keep reading your Bible and don't be dumb.